Welcome all. This series is being made under an initiative taken up by Ensystems Advisory Private Limited, a consulting firm working in the areas of clean energy, electric mobility, climate finance, and greening of rural value chains. Through this module, we aim to inform farmers about the utility of agrivoltaics, an innovative and emerging solution through which they can increase their income from their existing landholding. The series consists of two modules. The first one explains agrivoltaics in general, their benefits, and their successful implementation around the world. The second module explains the financial mechanisms that enable farmers to install agrivoltaics on their farms and the likely financial benefits. Hi, I am Kiran, a Krishi Mitra with the government. I am here to talk to you about a new type of initiative that will help you increase your farmer income from your existing land holding. This module talks about the installation of appropriate projects that will reap financial benefits for the farmers. We explain the two models of installation, CAPEX and RESCO model, and further discuss the government schemes that farmers can avail. The module also explains the detailed procedure farmers have to go through the installation of agrivoltaics in their land. The module concludes with an example of Dhundi in Gujarat, where farmers have successfully installed agrivoltaic systems and are reaping its benefits. Economics of installing agrivoltaics. First, we will look into the economics of agrivoltaic plants, considering different system configurations in which they can be installed. In an agrivoltaic system, the sizing, that is, the height and interspace distance between the panels, depends on factors like type of crop, irrigation requirement, and shadowing of crops. An agrivoltaic system of 150 kilowatt power can be installed on 1 acre of land with proper provisioning of space for crop production. There are mainly two types of costs incurred in the installation and maintenance of an agrivoltaic system. First, capital expenditure, that is CAPEX, which includes cost of mounting, balance of system, module, and installation cost. The second one, operating expenditure, that is OPEX, which includes costs incurred in cleaning and maintenance. The cost of mounting structure and installation varies as per the specifications of mounting structure in terms of height, spacing between panels, tracking system, etc. The revenue realization for farmers in both direct and indirect. On one hand, farmers can earn from the sale of generated electricity from the agrivoltaic system, and on the other, they can also save on their own energy consumption. They can also earn revenue from the harvest of crops grown on the same land. In this presentation, we will focus on the costs and revenues from electricity generation. Cost of installation changes with the type of configuration of the installed agrivoltaic system. For example, the figure on the left shows a complex system for which cost is higher at Rs 1.5 lakh per kilowatt power, while for standard systems, cost is lower at around Rs 50 to 60,000 per kilowatt power. The cost of installation also varies according to the crop, agriculture activities in the system, and the sizing. An agrivoltaic system with higher elevation and larger spacing between rows has lower power density than a typical ground mounted system. This can be seen in the figure where the system on the left with elevated agrivoltaics has a lower power density and hence generates less power from the same land as compared to ground mounted agrivoltaics. There are two modes in which the energy generated from an agrivoltaic system can be utilized. First, off-grid agrivoltaic system. Second, grid-connected agrivoltaic system. An off-grid system is beneficial if there is unavailability of grid infrastructure and the local load and power generation from agrivoltaic system complement each other. Here, the energy generated from the agrivoltaic system can be used for local energy needs. The excess energy is stored in batteries, which can be used for powering loads during the night. Grid-connected agrivoltaic systems can be of two types based on the generation capacity. In a small grid-connected agrivoltaic system, that is less than 500 kilowatts, a net metering system can be installed through which energy generated from the system is used for own consumption and excess energy is sold to the electricity utility at a fixed tariff. The system negates the requirement of expensive battery storage system and utilizes available grid infrastructure for power evacuation. For large systems, where the system size is beyond 500 kilowatts, the agrivoltaic system is required to connect to the nearest distribution substation and a power purchase agreement is signed between the agrivoltaic owner and electricity utility for selling renewable energy power. One major challenge associated with this system is high cost of power evacuation infrastructure, which includes transformer, cabling, etc., depending on the distance of the agrivoltaic system from the substation. The need of the hour is to have solutions for augmenting farmers' income from their existing land holdings, and agrivoltaic systems go a long way towards achieving those targets. Here is the economic feasibility of an agrivoltaic plant installed on 1 acre of land with capacity of 144 kilowatt power. The average cost of installing agrivoltaic system comes out to be Rs 50,000 per kilowatt power and generates approximately 2,15,000 units of electricity every year. If the electricity is sold at Rs 4 per unit, the payback period for the initial investment is just 8.35 years. Considering such systems have a life of around 25 years, the revenue generated is pure profit for the farmers installing such systems. Moreover, this income is just from the solar power sold to discoms and is in addition to the income from farming on the same land. Models for implementation. There are mainly two models for implementation of agrivoltaic projects. First, CAPEX model. Second, RESCO model. In the CAPEX model, capital investment for installation of system components and installation cost is made by the owner of agricultural land, which can be individual farmers, groups of farmers, or cooperatives. The Renewable Energy Service Company, or RESCO, is responsible for design and installation of agrivoltaic plant, and the power generated is sold to discoms. Financial institutions like banks interact with the landowners to meet their financing needs. The responsibilities of different stakeholders in this model are: RESCO designs, installs and operates the agrivoltaic plant. Landowners ensure investment, land availability and signing of PPA with discom along with conducting agricultural activities. Discoms sign a PPA or a power purchase agreement with plant owners and ensure installation of power evacuation network. However, the installation of solar photovoltaic system is capital intensive and it may be difficult for individual farmers, group of farmers or small cooperatives to finance this. To address this challenge, RESCO model is adopted. In the RESCO model, the financing of agrivoltaic system is done by the RESCO company. Farmers, farm producer organizations provide land for the project and are compensated with lease rent. The power procurement agreement is signed between RESCO and discom, and the discom pays energy charges to the RESCO. Thus, the main advantage in this model is that farmers are spared of the burden of arranging financing for the installation of agrivoltaics, while still being assured of income through lease rent. The responsibilities of different stakeholders in RESCO model are similar, with the exception being that instead of farmers, RESCO is responsible for financing the agrivoltaic system as well, in addition to designing, installation and operation of the plant and signing PPA with discom. Both modes have their own pros and cons. While the CAPEX model gives farmers autonomy over the installation of agrivoltaic systems and total revenue realization, RESCO model shields them from the uncertainties of the business and ensures a steady stream of income without the extra burden of mobilizing huge financial resources for installation. Government schemes. There have been attempts by the central government and some state governments to increase the installation of solar PV in recent years, which also includes encouraging farmers to do the same. One of the most prominent schemes by the Government of India, PM Kusum Yojana, is a big step towards increasing the farmers' earnings and promoting the installation of solar system for agricultural load. Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, MNRE, has launched the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Urja Suraksha Evam Uttam Mahabhiyan PM Kusum scheme for farmers for installation of solar pumps and grid-connected solar and other renewable power plants in the country. It has 3 components. Component A is for setting up 10 gigawatt decentralized renewable energy plants on agricultural land. Component B is for installation of solar pumps. Component C is for solarizing grid-connected irrigation pumps. Agrivoltaic systems can be implemented under Component A of PM Kusum scheme. Under this scheme, solar or other renewable energy-based power plants REPP of capacity 500 kW to 2 megawatts will be set up by renewable power generators RPGs, which include individual farmers, group of farmers, cooperatives, panchayats, farmer producer organizations, water user associations. The steps involved in project implementation under Component A are notification of substation-wise generation capacity, expression of interest for shortlisting of RPGs, selection of RE power plants, connectivity with the substation, clearances required from the state government and other local bodies, power purchase agreement with DISCOMs, bank guarantees, commissioning of the plant, shortfall in minimum generation, commercial operation date, release of incentives to DISCOMs. The stakeholders involved in the implementation of this component under PM Kusum scheme are MNRE, distribution companies, state nodal agency, and the RPGs, that is farmers, FPOs, cooperatives, etc. The Ministry of New and Renewable Energy provides incentives to DISCOMs, creating model PPA and lease agreement for implementation. The DISCOMs notify available capacity at substations, sign PPAs and RPGs, and provide connectivity to the agrivoltaic plant. Nodal agencies coordinate with stakeholders, assist farmers in implementation process, and create awareness about the scheme. RPGs, that is farmers, FPOs, cooperatives, RESCO, participate in selection processes carried out by DISCOM for installation of RE project and sign agreements with them. The installation of agrivoltaics plants by the RPGs, including the required permissions, involves many steps. The first step involves identification of the nearest substation with available capacity, which is available at PM Kusum scheme Component A, DISCOM website, followed by applying to the portal for setting up the renewable energy power plant. All eligible projects are given the letter of award LOA for procurement of RE at prefixed tariff. After getting letter of award, RPG needs to construct electric network for evacuation of power from RE plant with required support from DISCOMs. The next step is for the RPGs to obtain clearances from respective government departments for setting up the RE plant in their agricultural land as shown here. After clearances, RPGs need to obtain connectivity with substation by signing PPA with the local DISCOM for the sale of power generated. RPGs also need to provide earnest money deposit EMD and performance bank guarantee PBG to the DISCOM. The final step is to commissioning of solar plant, which should be completed within 9 months from the issuance of LOA, otherwise penalties are imposed. After commissioning of the plant, the RPGs must also generate minimum energy corresponding to utilization factor of 15%, otherwise they may have to pay compensation to the DISCOMs. The Ministry of New and Renewable Energy has created a web portal for availing loans for setting up the power projects once they receive the letter of award from DISCOMs. The portal ensures a smooth access to loans for the RPGs on submission of all documents. RPGs can avail loans from banks if they satisfy certain criteria. A maximum of rupees 10 crore with a ceiling of 70% of the total project cost can be provided as loan for the project, while the RPG has to invest the rest amount. While PM Kusum scheme is a central government scheme, many states have their own policies to encourage farmers to install photovoltaic solar panels. One of the notable policies implemented by states in Madhya Pradesh Decentralized Solar Policy 2016. The policy aims at promoting consumption of captive energy generation and third-party sale of energy generated from renewable energy sources at decentralized locations. Under this policy, decentralized renewable energy systems can be categorized as Category 1 net metering, Category 2 gross metering, Category 3 captive consumption without net export to grid. Farmers or group of farmers can install solar photovoltaic systems in their fields under this government policy. The detailed procedure involves a number of steps and clearances from the government, which is similar for all three categories. For Category 1, the process starts with application to DISCOM from renewable energy beneficiary or a RESCO. DISCOM will examine the requested capacity and availability of distribution transformer. If enough DT capacity is available, application is approved by DISCOM. After approval, renewable energy system capacity needs to be registered to state nodal agency, signing net metering agreement and submitting it to DISCOM. RE beneficiary or RESCO to apply for subsidy to state nodal agency. The selection of contractor. Submission of work completion report to DISCOM and state nodal agency. DISCOM to approve grid synchronization and issue commissioning certificate. Release of subsidy from concerned government authority. For net metering category, the plant must be installed within 180 days of registration. The process for installing RE system under category 2 and 3 is also quite similar. The only difference is that instead of net metering agreement, a power purchase agreement (PPA) is signed between the RE beneficiary RESCO and the DISCOM. For these two categories, the plant must be installed within 240 days of registration. Dhundi case study. We will discuss the case study of Dhundi Saur Urja Sahkari Mandali, the project initiated under the International Water Management Institute Tata Partnership Program. The project is located in a small village named Dhundi, situated in Khera district of Gujarat. Total installed solar capacity is of 71.4 kilowatt, which consists of 9 photovoltaic systems with 10.8 kilowatt power, 8 kilowatt power and 5 kilowatt power capacity. The systems are installed at different locations in the village as shown in the figure. Power from each system is aggregated at the Mandali office and is connected to grid. Bidirectional meters are installed at office to track selling of solar power from each PV system. Installation of solar system in farmland has enabled farmers to generate revenue from selling renewable energy to state electricity utility through PPA and from irrigation service provided to nearby farmers in this particular project. Water conservation and green energy bonus is also given to the farmers under the partnership program. As per the information received from the Mandali office, farmers are able to earn a total additional income around 1,20,000 rupees annually from selling renewable energy to utilities and providing irrigation services from PV systems. The following interview with Mr. Parmar from the Mandali helps us understand the process of project implementation, benefits, and challenges faced by the farmers in implementation of PV systems on their agriculture land.
हम थोड़ी जानकारी चाहते थे इस प्रोजेक्ट के बारे में कि आपने कब शुरू किया, सो आपकी जो स्टार्ट की यहाँ की जो जर्नी रही है उसके बारे में, कितने लोग इसमें आपके साथ जुड़े, मंडली में जुड़े, ये कितने सिस्टम का, कितने किलोवाट पावर का आपका सिस्टम है पूरा, और आगे जैसे हम बढ़ेंगे इस डिस्कशन में हम चाहते हैं कि आप बताएं कि इसके फ़ायदे एक फार्मर को की तरफ से इसके फ़ायदे क्या है, मतलब एग्रीकल्चर इसके तरफ से भी इनकम वाइज भी उसके कितने फ़ायदे हैं, और उसमें अगर कोई जो अगर तकलीफें आपको आई है तो उसके बारे में आप थोड़ा सा हमें इसकी जानकारी थोड़ा।
मेरा नाम परमार प्रवीण है। मेरा गांव गुजरात की मध्य गुजरात के खेड़े जिले के ठासरा तालुका में। हमारे गांव में ये वर्ल्ड फर्स्ट सोलर कोऑपरेटिव बनाई गई है। उस कोऑपरेटिव में हमारे साथ अभी 9 किसान लोग जुड़े हैं। हमने 2015 में दिसंबर 2015 में हमारे किसानों के खेत में सोलर सिस्टम लगाई गई। वो 6 किसानों के खेत में फर्स्ट टाइम हमने लगाया था। बाद में 1 साल के बाद 3 किसान और जुड़े, यानी कि कुल मिला के हमारे साथ अभी 9 किसान लोग जुड़े थे। फर्स्ट टाइम हमारे किसान ऐसे करते थे कि डीजल इंजन इस्तेमाल करते थे। डीजल इंजन आप देखेंगे तो उसमें ज़्यादा खर्चा लगता है। मान लो कि डीजल बाज़ार से ख़रीदना पड़ता है, उनका मेंटेनेंस करना पड़ता है, उनके लिए एक आदमी रखना चाहिए। ये खर्च ज़्यादा होने की वजह से हम किसानों की आमदनी में बहुत नुकसान हो रहा था। पर हमारे साथ ही IWMI इंटरनेशनल वाटर मैनेजमेंट इंस्टीट्यूट नाम की संस्था ने हमारे गांव में आकर इस सोलर के बारे में बताया कि आप सोलर से ये प्रोजेक्ट करेंगे तो उसमें आपको डीजल का भी जो खर्च है वो बंद हो जाएगा। आपको बची हुई बिजली आप गवर्नमेंट को बेचेंगे, उससे भी आपको आमदनी में मुनाफा होगा। ऐसे हमने बताने की वजह से हमारे साथ फर्स्ट ईयर में 6 किसान जुड़े, तो हमने पर किलोवाट पे 5,000 रुपया खेड़ूत कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन दिया और इस मंडली में हम जुड़ गए। इस मंडली हमारे पास विश्व की सर्वप्रथम मंडली थी, तो हमें मंडली रजिस्टर करने में भी थोड़ी दिक्कत आ गई। और ये मंडली हमने रजिस्टर करने के बाद हमने गवर्नमेंट के साथ पावर परचेज एग्रीमेंट करवाना था, तो वो एग्रीमेंट करवाने में भी हमें थोड़ी दिक्कत आई गई थी। जैसे कि उसमें हमारे लैंड लेवलिंग है, उसमें सारे किसान लोग हैं, उसमें 30 से 40 लोग होते हैं, तो उनका NOC करवाना में हमें दिक्कत आई थी। ऐसे करके हमने फरवरी 2016 में हमने मंडली रजिस्टर की और बाद में हमने मई 2016 में हमने गवर्नमेंट के साथ एग्रीमेंट किया, वो पावर परचेज एग्रीमेंट यानी कि PPA। तो हमने पर यूनिट 4 रुपये 63 पैसे के हिसाब से हमने गवर्नमेंट के साथ एग्रीमेंट किया। हमारे साथ ये हमारे गांव में 300 कुटुंब है। 300 कुटुंब ने हमारे ज्योति ग्राम योजना है, उसमें हमने पावर छोड़ने का काम फर्स्ट टाइम किया। तो हमारे किसानों की बिजली इतनी प्रोड्यूस हो रही थी कि पूरे दिन में 300 से 350 यूनिट हो रहे थे। तो इतनी बिजली हमारे गांव में बिक नहीं रही थी, उसकी वजह से वो वापस होने की वजह से हमारी इन्वर्टर ट्रिप हो जाती थी। तो हमने सोचा कि उसको आगे बेचने के लिए हमें अलग से ट्रांसफार्मर खड़ा करना है। तो उनके लिए जो प्रोजेक्ट कॉस्ट था वो ख़त्म हो गया था, तो वो खुद का खर्चा हमें मंडली को उठाना पड़ा। वो 2 लाख का खर्चा हम मंडली ने उठा के एक ट्रांसफार्मर खड़ा किया और हमारी बिजली आगे फीडर में छोड़ दिए। तो उसी से हमें बहुत फ़ायदा हो रहा था। 1 साल में हमारी किसानों को 1 से 1.5 लाख रुपये की इनकम इन सोलर सिस्टम से हो रही है, यानी कि 60 से 70 हज़ार रुपये की इनकम इन किसानों को बिजली बेचने से हो रही है। और किसान अपना पानी भी दूसरे किसानों को भी बेचते हैं, उनसे 60 से 70 हज़ार रुपये की इनकम इन सोलर पानी बेचने से हो रही है। तो किसानों को ऐसा बहुत फ़ायदा हो रहा। तो ऐसा देखकर हमने ये मॉड्यूल बहुत फेमस करने के बाद हमने गुजरात के एनर्जी मिनिस्टर सौरभ भाई पटेल को दिखाया कि ये मॉड्यूल से आप कोई भी योजना बना सकते हैं। तो उन्होंने 2018 में इस मंडली की मुलाकात करने के बाद उन्होंने एक गुजरात के लिए स्काई योजना लॉन्च की, सूर्य शक्ति किसान योजना। उसमें काफ़ी किसान लोग आज जुड़ गए हैं। पूरे गुजरात में 5,000 से ज़्यादा किसान लोग ऐसी मंडलियाँ बना रही है और ये अपनी बची हुई बिजली भी गवर्नमेंट में और उनको बिजली मिलने की वजह से उनकी खेत में भी पैदावार में बहुत बढ़ोतरी हो गई है। तो आज पूरे गुजरात में देखेंगे तो किसानों को रात में या दिन में बिजली जो पहले मिल रही थी, आज वो उन किसानों को दिन में ही बिजली मिलने लगी है। तो किसान भी आज बहुत खुश हो रही है। तो ऐसा देखकर रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी का सेक्रेटरी जो दिल्ली से उनको दिखाया कि प्रोजेक्ट के बारे में, तो उन्होंने 2018 में अरुण जेटली सर ने इस मंडली के जो काम था उनके लिए उन्होंने बजट भी लॉन्च कर दिया और पूरे भारत के लिए उन्होंने कुसुम योजना लॉन्च की। तो आज पूरे भारत में ऐसी मंडलियाँ और ऐसे योजनाओं चल रही है। उसका एक उदाहरण ये मॉड्यूल बन गया है ढूंढी। तो उस ढूंढी से आज पूरे भारत और देश विदेश से भी लोग आते हैं यहाँ। जर्मन एम्बेसडर आ गए, जाम्बियन डेलीगेशन भी आ गया। तो उन्होंने अपने देशों में भी उस मॉड्यूल का अपना उसमें उपयोग करके पूरे देश विदेश में भी उसका बहुत बहुत फ़ायदा लेने लगे हैं। और ऐसी मंडलियाँ पूरे देश विदेश में भी बननी चाहिए। उसी से किसानों की आमदनी और किसानों का जो मुनाफा है उसमें बहुत बहुत बढ़ोतरी हो रही है। इसलिए किसान की आमदनी दुगना हो सकती है। 2022 में अपने पीएम प्राइम मिनिस्टर श्री नरेंद्र मोदी साहब का जो सपना था वो भी इस मॉड्यूल से अपना सपना साकार हो सकेगा।
मुझे पूछना था आपसे और एक प्रश्न, जिसमें आपका जो खुद का आपकी जो जगह है जहाँ पे आपने आपके जो लगाए हुए हैं उसमें आप किस तरीके की और खेती कर पाते हैं? मतलब ये तो एक हुई जो हम ऊर्जा की खेती से बोल सकते हैं।
ऊर्जा की खेती के साथ साथ हमारे यहाँ पानी जो है बारिश वाले सीजन में बहुत होता है। उसी टाइम हम पैडी करते हैं यानी कि धान लगाते हैं। और सर्दी वाले सीजन में हम गेहूँ, राजगिरा और टमाटर लगाते हैं सब्जियों में। और ये गर्मी वाली सीजन है तो हम बाजरा और मूंग लगाते हैं। तो ऐसे पूरे साल में हम तीन बार खेती करते हैं। तो 365 दिन में से हम 100 दिन इस सोलर पंप का इस्तेमाल करते हैं। 200 दिन ऐसे बच जाते हैं हमारी, वो बिजली बेचते हैं। और 60 दिन ऐसे कि मान लो कि बादल आ गई, बादल आने के टाइम में भी हम कम बिजली बेचते हैं। तो पूरे साल हमारा ये सोलर प्रोजेक्ट चलता ही रहता है।
शुक्रिया,
थैंक यू।
Conclusion. As we move towards the end of this series, it is worth recalling what we have studied about agrivoltaics, their types, the benefits of their installation, their costs and revenue potential, government schemes encouraging this initiative, and successful examples of the installation of agrivoltaics in our country. Agrivoltaics is a novel initiative that has the potential to transform the rural landscape by enhancing farmers' income while simultaneously reducing the carbon footprint of agriculture activities. An analysis of the costs and benefits involved clearly indicates that the payback period is quite low for an agrivoltaics installation compared to its life, thus ensuring continued benefits to the farmers. The example of Dhundi illustrates that this practice has already been implemented successfully in our own country and can be replicated on a large scale. The only barriers are the high upfront cost, but with proper policy and financial support from the government, farmers can collectively pool their land resources and create a huge arsenal of renewable energy that will not only enhance the quality of life in rural India but also contribute towards India's targets of achieving energy security through renewable energy sources. Thank you.